Good morning. It's Thursday, y'all, the 11th of November, 2025. I hope you had a good day yesterday. Hope your week is going well. We're almost to the weekend, being that it's Thursday. And as always, hope you're in a good Bible believing, preaching, teaching church in your area. Real quick, for some of the new subscribers that have been watching the videos, if you don't know heaven is going to be your home, you need to know before it's eternally too late, number one, but you also need to know because when the rapture happens and the church is out of here, and yes, the rapture is going to take the church out of here before the tribulation. The tribulation is not for us, it's the time of Jacob's trouble. It's for those that have rejected Christ as their Savior, honestly, and that eventually the lake of fire as well. But if you don't know for sure heaven's going to be your home and you've never been born again, I'm going to put a link in the description how to know for 100% you go to heaven and you don't miss the rapture. So, because that rapture, honestly, could be any time with God's timetable. Also, there is a link, and there'll be a link in the description to my website, brokenroadjourney.com. That's for questions, comments, concerns. Also, here on the YouTube channel, if you go to playlists, there's a couple playlists I want you to check out. One is New Christian Discipleship. And if you've already been saved and you're born again and you're grounded in your faith and you know it, then maybe it's not for you. But if you've never been biblically discipled, I want you to take a look at it. Right now, there's 12 lessons so far. I'm probably going to go towards about 20 lessons and be done with it all together. The first 7 to 8 lessons have to do with your salvation and how to know for sure heaven is your home and what it means to be born again scripturally from the scriptures, being born again. So it's and you can also use it to jot down a good plan of salvation and help you be a better soul winner, because and ultimately that's our job, is to see souls saved and lives changed as Christians, and for us to live a life that's pleasing and bring honor and glory to God. So I have that playlist in there as well. And there is a playlist for the whole God of This World series, a part of our daily devotions. All right, so as promised, we are going to go back to Revelation 13 and we're going to see the Antichrist activity between Revelation 13 and 17. And then we'll look at his final battle with Christ at the Battle of Armageddon. Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. If we don't start it today, we'll get to it tomorrow. And then I want to wrap up this God of This World thing and get back to the normal daily devotions. So 2 Corinthians chapter 2, that's where we're at with this. And that's why we've been on this, because we're doing verse by verse daily devotions from 2 Corinthians. So 2 Corinthians chapter 2, chapter 4, as a refresher. It says here, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 3 and 4, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, and whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. We've looked at how the God of this world, Satan, has blinded the eyes of the lost. You don't have to choose to go to hell. You're automatically going to go to hell. You have, if you don't get saved, you have to get saved and born again to miss hell. That's the only option you have. You don't choose to go to hell. Because you're a sinner and the wrath of God abides on you, John 3:36. Without salvation, that wrath of God abides on you, and the punishment of our sin is death and hell. You have to be born again to escape hell. You have to be born again to escape the white throne judgment, which is the final judgment. That's the only way you're going to miss hell, and the white throne judgment is how to get saved. Because once the tribulation starts, it goes back to a faith and work system both. And you can read for yourself in Revelation 14. It does talk about the faith and work system. So go back to Revelation chapter 13, starting verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him power gave him his power and his seat and his great authority. We looked at his seat. It is the Roman Catholic Church. We also looked at he's coming up out of the sea. He's coming up out of the bottomless pit, that same bottomless pit where he's at presently. There in Revelation chapter 9, it talks about this pit being opened, and it talks about these locust creatures coming up out of the pit, and they had a king over them, and his name was Apollyon or Abaddon, which means destruction, perdition. So that king over there in Revelation chapter 9 would be the son of perdition, and it would be, biblically speaking, Judas Iscariot, because he's went to his own place. That's where he is at presently. He will come again, and that's what we're looking at. He comes again. According to Revelation 13, he comes up. Now, I want you to look at this next part, because there are people that believe that the Antichrist gets killed again in the tribulation. And I'm not sure if he does or if he doesn't. There's a possibility he does, and then he resurrects 3 days later. But here's the thing with Judas Iscariot, when he hung himself, that is a head wound. So it could be that what we're looking at right now is that deadly head wound that Judas Iscariot got when he hung himself. When you hang yourself, two things happen. One, you either break your neck or you asphyxiate, cut off the oxygen to your brain that leads to your... So that's what happens. And so that's a head wound. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Do I believe it? I actually believe this. But I'm just going to say it is a possibility, but I do believe this. All right. And I saw one of his heads, and this is looking at this, comparing this to Revelation 17, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Why do I think it's past tense as well? This deadly head wound that was healed? Because when Judas Iscariot comes back, he's going to pretend to be Jesus. We know that he goes in there into the temple and declares himself God. So it's a good possibility that he has somehow showing nail-scarred hands, holes in his hands, holes in his feet, and a hole in his side where he was pierced. Looked as if he would be pierced. He's going to mimic Christ in every aspect that he possibly can. Now, and they worshiped the dragon, verse 4, and gave power unto the beast. Now, going back to this, it is possible this is his resurrection after his death, and where they kill him in the tribulation. I'm not saying that's not what happens. I'm not saying that it is what happens. I think there's some holes in that story, and that belief. I do. That's what I think. But I could be wrong. But there's the reason people say that he gets killed and then he resurrects 3 days later is something that we're going to see here in verse 10. And they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. So they're worshiping the unholy trinity during the great tribulation. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. That blasphemy, he's declaring himself God. He's saying, I am God. I am Christ God manifest in the flesh. That's where these new Bibles make the changes to he was manifested in the flesh, and taking out God. They're just opening the door for Judas Iscariot to show up and say, I'm Christ. That's what they're doing. Because Scripture was very clear in the King James, it's God manifest in the flesh. But with the Antichrist, the son of perdition, when he comes back, he's going to declare himself God. And he's going to use these new Bibles to prove it. He'll probably even use that Catholic Bible, where we showed the other day, the Catholic Bible, I pointed to the screen because I had the Bible up on the screen there. The Catholic Bible says, as far as the mystery of godliness, they say the mystery of our religion. Instead of the mystery of godliness, which is going into verse 16 that says God manifest in the flesh, it says the mystery of our the mystery of our religion is this. Well, that religion is Mystery Babylon, Revelation 17, the Roman Catholic Church. And they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worship, verse 4, let's read this again, saying, who is able, like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him. So he is going to be a warlord during the tribulation. And we'll see what he does. He's going out to annihilate the Jews. That's what he's doing. He's chasing them from all around the world as they're fleeing to get to Sela Petra. That's why the Valley of Megiddo, the Battle of Armageddon, is outside of Sela Petra. That's where God leads them during the tribulation. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power is given unto him to continue, look at this, 42 months. That is 3.5 years. That is the Great Tribulation. The Great Tribulation is a period of 3.5 years. Now, verse 6, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. So he's saying, I'm God, not you. I'm God. Christ, you're not God manifest in the flesh. I'm God manifest in the flesh. That's his blasphemies, and he's looking up to heaven saying this. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Who are these? These are tribulation saints, people going through the great tribulation. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So what is he doing? He's making them worship him. How does he do it? Let's go further. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Oh, sorry, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. This is where they start to say that he gets killed by a sword wound, and then he's resurrected again. But at this point, that resurrection is past tense. Just saying. And we can look at Revelation 17 and see again there that it is past tense. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. This is the false prophet coming up out of the earth. Where's that? He's coming out of Rome. He's the Pope. He's going to be the false prophet to unite all the religions of the world to follow the Antichrist. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Again, past tense, deadly wound. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Verse 14. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. So now the false prophet is given powers. So you have the Antichrist, and now you also have the false prophet that are powerful beings, preaching and killing, as a matter of fact. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. There's a key. Wound of a sword and did live. By the way, that doesn't say he got killed by the sword. He says he had a wound by the sword. Go to Zechariah 11 real quick. Make a left turn, go back into the Old Testament, the minor prophets, go to Zechariah 11. And I'm not saying that what I'm saying is true. I believe it. And it is possible that the Antichrist is killed and he is resurrected. I don't know. I don't know for certain. But I do believe that he is already past tense, a deadly head wound that was healed, and that he was resurrected to come up out of the pit. So, Zechariah chapter 11, I want you to see something. Pass it. Zechariah 11, verse 16. Zechariah 11:16. And by the way, this passage is talking about the rise of Christ and the Antichrist, including Judas Iscariot's betrayal of Christ for 30 pieces of silver. That's back over there in 12 through 14. Now, for lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land, which shall not visit those that be cut off. Who's cut off? The Jews. They're being chased around in the tribulation. Neither shall seek the young man, nor heal that is broken, nor feed that standeth still. But he shall eat the flesh of the fat and tear their claws in pieces. He's going to be killing people and eating them in the tribulation. You're going to have cannibalism in the tribulation. There's more to show that. But look at verse 17. Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock. The sword shall be upon his arm and upon his right eye. His arm shall be clean dried up. He has a withered arm. And his right eye shall be utterly darkened. So this wound that he receives there in the tribulation, does it kill him? I don't know. I think his deadly head wound that was healed prior. That I believe it's a strong possibility. But it is also possible, I'm putting both possibilities here, that he gets killed in the tribulation. When he resurrects, his arm's dried up and his right eye is blind. Or they try to kill him and they don't get him killed because he's already resurrected from the dead once. That's a possibility. And I think it's a stronger possibility. Because when we get to look at what happens to him at the end of the tribulation, he's cast alive into the lake of fire. Anyway, let's go on. Just giving you some things here. But we do know this, back here in Revelation 14, there is an image created, an idol created, the idol shepherd there in Zechariah 11. There's an idol created that everybody in the world is called upon to worship this idol. And look at verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't worship the beast, you're called to be killed. Verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their forehead and in their right hand. And it says, in their right hand or in their forehead, either or. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So there is a number. I had somebody in the comments the other day that said that they believe that the Antichrist number is 777. That's God's number. That's not the Antichrist number. This gives you the Antichrist number right here in this passage. The number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. And his number is 600, 6. That is the Antichrist number. The number of man is 6. Adam was created on the 6th day. The number of this man, the son of perdition, the Antichrist, is 666. That's his number. And go back, and that no man might buy or sell, verse 17, that save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. That's all I got for you today. Went 20 minutes, a little longer. I wanted to finish up Revelation 13. Revelation chapter 17, you can go back and read that on your own. And when it talks about the beast that was and is not yet shall be, in Revelation 17, the beast was here once. He is not here right now. He is in his own place, but yet he's going to come out of the pit and go into destruction for 3.5 years. And during that 3.5 years, he is going to chase around the Jews to kill them. And anybody that does not take his mark or worship him, people that don't worship him, He's going to kill them or have them killed by somebody during the Great Tribulation. Why would any Christian in their right mind want to go through that? I don't think you're going to. In fact, I know you're not going to go there. If you're a born again Christian, you're not going to go into the tribulation. You will not be faced with having to decide if you're going to take the mark of the beast or not. But that mark of the beast is a number, and it's in the right hand, it's in the forehead, and it is an implant. And it's already here. You have it in your phone, you have it in your wallet, that little chip that you buy and sell with. It's already here. It's just not tied with that number yet. It does not get tied with that number until the Great Tribulation. Questions, comments, concerns, go to my website, brokenroadjourney.com. If these videos have helped you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on notifications, and share these videos. And go back and share just the playlist. You can click on the playlist. There's a little button by there that says share. Share them. Share the whole playlist. All right. People need to know what's coming if they don't accept Christ. Hell, the tribulation, and the lake of fire. All right. God bless y'all. Tomorrow, we'll look at the Antichrist destruction and then Satan's last fall. God bless y'all. Lord willing, we'll talk tomorrow.